I'm Gregory Poling, Senior Fellow for Southeast Asia here at CSIS. In the early morning hours of February 1st, the military of Myanmar, or Burma, detained State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi, President Win Myint, and other leaders of the ruling National League for Democracy. The leaders of several other ethnic political parties and activists were also rounded up. The coup took place just hours before the country's new parliament was to convene, following elections last November. And several hours later, a broadcast informed citizens that the country was under a one-year state of emergency due to what the military is calling election fraud. Myanmar's fragile, decade-long transition to democracy has suffered a devastating setback. The National League for Democracy had won the November general elections in a landslide, picking up 83% of total available seats. The polls were an embarrassment and a rebuke for the army, particularly for Senior General Min Aung. The military cried foul, alleging widespread irregularities. But the nation's election commission, along with international observers, have repeatedly rejected those accusations. Ultimately, the decision to go ahead with the coup was Min Aung's, and his motivations are murky. This was clearly not about election integrity. More plausibly, the coup seems to be a result of the general's personal ambitions. He is slated for mandatory retirement in July 2021 and has been widely assumed to be eyeing a transition to politics. But the NLD's overwhelming performance in the November elections has dashed any hope that he or other generals could secure election to top office under the current system. How the citizens of Myanmar respond next bears watching. A decade of modernization and opening has led to radical shifts in the way people within Myanmar communicate, especially with the explosion of mobile internet service. That's going to make it much more difficult for the military to keep a lid on popular discontent than during past coups. The National League for Democracy is urging citizens to resist, but to do so nonviolently. So what can the United States do? Unfortunately, U.S. leverage on Myanmar has always been limited. Min Aung and other senior generals are already sanctioned for their involvement in the ethnic cleansing campaign against the country's Rohingya minority. There is almost no military-to-military relationship between the U.S. and Myanmar, and U.S. businesses are modest players in the economy. The United States will not be alone in any pressure campaign, and other Western governments are likely to level their own sanctions against the new junta, but it's going to be much more difficult to get major investors like Japan and Singapore to follow suit. And the largest foreign player in Myanmar's economy, China, is likely to be all too happy to work with the new ruling generals. The United States should still take a leading role in condemning this coup and try to pressure the generals to reinstate civilian control. But Washington also needs to prepare for the possibility of sustained military rule. That means it will be critical to amplify voices of resistance both within and without Myanmar. The United States should support those who will keep the flame alive and help rebuild institutions once the generals loosen their grip and give Myanmar another chance to breathe. For more, please visit www.csis.org.